Welcome to Up on Game presents Taylor Scouting. Coach Randy Taylor is bringing his 40-plus years of knowledge to you. This is Taylor Scouting. And now, here's Coach Randy Taylor.
Hey, this is Coach Randy Taylor. They call me Coach Taylor. We're bringing you the Taylor Scouting Podcast, a part of LeVar Arrington's Up on Game Network. And I am actually on the road again. Kiki and I are at the Sandlot near Chicago visiting my brother and sister-in-law. So Mike Napoleon is my brother-in-law. He's about to win his 1,000th baseball game, Coach, as a head coach at New Trier High School. And so it's kind of a milestone, so we wanted to be here for it. And my guest today is a legend in his own right. I'm here with Coach Pene Talamaivao, who is a busy man, because he is the D-line coach and strength coach at Riverside City College. And in his spare time, he is training players to go to the NFL and play high-level college football. Coach Pene also runs PTP Sports, which is a training group. And I'm taking this right out of their site because I love how it says, a training group that focuses on building elite-level athletes designed to weaponize. Anytime we're weaponizing something, I'm fired up, brother. Weaponize their skill sets by enhancing their strength, speed, power, and agility, regardless of sports. And so we are going to talk to Coach Pene, who is the trainer, coach, mentor, guru, educator, dad, whatever you want to call it, for many top players in the West. And welcome, Coach.
Thank you, Randy. First of all, I'm not a guru, but hey, I appreciate all the attention I can get, man. And but I just want to say, man, thank you for the opportunity to come on here.
Yeah, you got it, brother. You're one of my guys that I love and really care for in this business, and I know what you do is good for these kids, and that's what we're here, right? We're here for these kids, and you and your family do that all the time. So, Coach, how early do you start working with kids?
It all depends. Some parents, it depends on the parents. Some parents want it right away, which I don't recommend, usually around 7 or 8. And sometimes it depends on their movement patterns and whatnot and how they can take on certain drills and so forth.
Well, because what I notice about your stuff that you do, it is really an advanced preparation and training. And I think the kids have to be at a stage in their athleticism and their strength to be able to get something out of it. You don't want them flailing around. Isn't that pretty fair to say?
Every I guess without, I'll just give out the trade secrets. Everything I do, I try to mimic the game at 100%, or get close to it. Because I feel like if you don't meet those requirements, then it's whatever, pretty much how I see it.
It's funny because one of my notes, because I've been out to your events and I've been to your competitions. I even went to Utah to one of your things, and the thing that I noticed about it is when I attend your sessions, I love the energy and the atmosphere. And my note to myself, and I think I wrote it down, was it is very close to what a player will get at the college level.
Right.
And you and I are exactly on the same page on that. And it's a great precursor to being in a top college program, in my opinion. Do you have, before I go any further, let me bring up two guys that I got to see, okay? And I think you're going to agree with me. Chris Rendazzo.
Yeah.
It is a prime example of a young man who I saw as a young pup floundering around, needed a lot of work, big lineman, big body, and I saw him when he was just basically able to stand up and bend over to now, when he goes and plays at Oregon.
Right.
And then another guy kind of developed through you guys, and there's a ton of them. I got that whole list. But another guy, Drake Jackson, defensive end, from USC, now at the 49ers. He's going to be playing linebacker, defensive end. He's a star. And those kids took what you taught them and all of those other kids on your list, and they ought to go to your website, which is Primetime Player, ptpsports.net.
Yes, sir.
ptpsports.net. They should go there and look at all the players you've trained.
Gotcha.
Coach, is there and I don't want to hog this whole thing, and you can talk about these kids. Is there a start and a middle and a finish with your athletes?
Yes. So my retention rate is about 5 years. That's how long the kids stay with me. Some even longer, like 7 to 8 years. Because the parents they really love what we do with the kids. We're it's hard to explain because we really interact with the kids, and I don't want to say this without bad mouthing anybody. I just know what we do, and I know a lot of people will do things just to go through the motion. And at the end of the day, some people will do it for the value of the dollar. And I know how important that is for a parent, and I also know how important that is for a company. And so I believe if you're going to do a service, you got to do it 100 miles per hour and because I base everything on results. And but so as far as a player, there definitely has to be a beginning, a middle part where he's got to meet those goals, and then of course at the tail end, he's going to run on his own and pretty much get to the next level.
Yeah, that's I can see that in the way you do everything that you do, and I love coming out there and watching your guys. I've been kind of missing in action lately, but that's other stuff that I've been getting involved with. Now, how much do you get involved with the recruiting process, Coach?
Heavy. I seen you at the AFCA every year. Um, I'm talking to coaches pretty much during my lunch break. Sometimes some of them know when I call in, or some of them know what time to call me because of my schedule. They usually ask for a list of what kids and what my opinion are of other kids, or they're contacting me for contacts, people like yourself, and trying to figure out how to get kids into certain programs. And I also work with a lot of independent guys that do recruiting for a living. And sometimes those guys are beating the doors down, just try to get coaches in. And so for me, I feel like if we all network, we can help kids get in through where they need to go. I believe everyone can go to college, and I feel college is an important starting point in any kid's life. So the recruiting process to me is huge. I mean, we don't want to just be a standalone company as far as PTP. We want to incorporate that as one of the major factors when we're helping kids get recruited.
What I 100% see it every time I'm out there. But what is your background as far as playing? You've had some NFL and pro experience, and then into the coaching world. Give us a little bit of your background, so people watching know you've been through it and you've seen it.
Yeah, so I've got a full ride scholarship at the University of Utah. Played there 3 years. After that, I did pretty well, preseason All American, and I was able to went to a couple of bowl games, and then got an experience of college. What do you call it? Undrafted free agent, and that's a long story because I did poorly in the combine. In my days, especially in my days when I ended up going to bowl games instead of preparing for the combine. I like how these kids now can definitely go and get ready for the combine. I only had 2 weeks to get ready for it. And it ultimately turned bad for me because then I was an undrafted free agent, had to really fight for it. I got injured in a lot of those camps. Then pretty much I was pretty much waived, and I had a career-ending injury, so I had to settle some things with certain teams. But then I continued on with the XFL and the CFL to finish it off. Still had a little bit of football in me that I had to get out of my system. But there's a lot of things that, and we can elaborate more on some of those things, on how that struggle is. It's a real struggle, man. It's hard.
Well, and now coaching at the junior college level, and Riverside City College, for those folks don't know, is an elite program. and they have top level kids at this program. But it gives you, Coach, I think, and you tell me how, it gives you a little bit more of a different look after high school, the junior college kids, and sometimes bounce back kids, all of that. Tell us about the process, those kids coming out and going to the next level.
I'm no longer at Riverside. I was at J. Sarah last year, but I had a great 8 years there at Riverside. And as far as the process goes, it's junior college ball is great football, in my opinion, especially for those that financially can't afford, to be a PWO, preferred walk-on or whatnot. It's a great opportunity for them to go play. But I really want to stress how important junior college football is. You will get seen at a junior college football. But I feel like that's the level, that kind of football. It's really a doggy dog world because you got some great talent, you got some great kids that are hungry, and then you got kids that academically didn't make it. You got kids that, they felt they got chips on their shoulders, and they have to fight for everything now. And so, I know they did a documentary, Last Chance U. It's not that. It's just, in my opinion, it's just kids. This is an opportunity for them to still go without spending a large sum of money going to a Division 1 AA or Division 2 school per se, and unless they get a scholarship. But any school they got to pay out of pocket is pretty expensive. And
Yeah.
so a junior college route is best for it. But I tell you, I've seen some of the best players out of junior college, some of the best players, and that's because the talent level is high. With the portal now, a lot of kids are opting for that junior college route. So
And then they can transfer just like you would out of the portal, but a little different rules. But I guess I did know that you were at J. Sarah. I was reading your RCC bio and just got to talking about that. But let me tell you this: if you got a chance to go to J. Sarah and get some great coaching, you ought to do that. And Coach Pene is there, and that even makes it better. So. Coach, let me go and ask you a question about recruiting again, a little bit more. It seems like a copycat industry, isn't it? Where everyone follows others and offers and all that kind of stuff.
yeah, I mean, I don't know who started it, but you got there's fake offers, obviously, and then there's real offers, and what I mean by that is non-committable offers. And I think what's happening right now, in my opinion, a lot of kids are focused on the wrong things. They're more into selling themselves as opposed to getting ready for the season. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it's sad because everything looks great on Twitter, but I don't think everything is straight in the classroom or in the workouts or in the practices or in the games where it really matters. And I think that's what's happening. As far as the recruiting, uh, you and I talked about this, and I'm going to be really frank about this. There's a lot of recruiting agents out there. There's a lot of people that are making money out of this whole deal. There's people that are selling kids, and and there's also people that are making money off of false hopes, selling the parents.
Yeah.
And their whole point is to extract money from parents because these parents love their kids. And so what's disheartening is that a lot of these programs don't even have these kids on their radar. And the one thing I don't like is this college visit thing. I think it's a great thing if they show true interest in you. But what's happening is a lot of people are taking whatever you call it, 5-star players, and then they have these other kids that are tagging along, hoping that they get looked at. When it's totally the opposite, because and this I'm not pointing out anybody that's doing that business. This is from what I'm gathering from the parents and kids all together. The kids are going to these camps, these tours, and they're the ones flipping the bill while the kid that's a 5-star is not getting anything. He's not paying anything out of pocket. And so, you got that kind of thing going on. And then then we got to go to this part with the fake offers. I mean, and it seems like more and more kids are into getting an offer. It's more important than going through the grind. You know what I mean? And that's
Yeah.
what's happening with the recruiting process. Coaches, I think, will find you and come after you, but at the end of the day, you got to take care of the classroom and the football stuff. It's really basic.
You better have great video, right, Coach? I always say video is king, brother.
Randy, you and I have talked many times about the recruiting things. We can sell and try to get kids to coaches to get them in front of people. At the end of the day, it's all about performance. And you
Absolutely.
and I talked about this. They're not going to risk $300,000, $400,000 job to take a kid that's going to come up there and be a bust. It's just
Yeah.
how they think. It's just how the program is.
Hey, what are your standing principles or philosophy you try to instill in your athletes from when you get them on the field and then all of the things you do? Because I know you talk about mindset, you talk about a lot of different things. Talk to me about how these kids, other than maybe football, what are your principles and philosophy in that regard?
Man, I mean, Randy, now you're talking my that's like going into my soul, man. When I say I want to weaponize kids, everybody have a different mindset. And I'll tell you this, I'll share this. I've never done it on public, on any of these shows before, but if you ask any kid what their mindset is, they can't tell you. If you ask certain coaches what their mindset is, they can't repeat it to you because they don't know it. My mindset is really brutal. And the way we carry ourselves, it's respectfully, but at the same time, I really want to weaponize kids where they get into a game and pretty much, I don't know if I should even say it on here, demolish you. We want to destroy you, take everything from you, own you at every step. It is the ultimate mindset in putting you through the rigor that you're able to supersede beyond your breaking points. And I know that's cheap, it's easier said than done, but you have to train like that. And the reason I say that is because there's a lot of kids that I'm sorry about that. Hold on a sec. There's a lot of kids that don't want to go through that. You know what I mean? And I'm sorry, my granddaughter,
That's okay. We
and
like to have drop-ins.
no, but this is a great topic, and I want to elaborate on that. Let
Well,
me say,
here's what while you're getting settled, I always look at guys like Kobe Bryant. I mean, he was a ruthless killer in the sport, and Michael Jordan's, and you can name a lot of those different guys. I mean, Tom Brady is kind of like that. There's a whole bunch of guys in every different sport that are just killers, and that is not, it's not meaning that they're doing anything illegal. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? And so, but they are just, their mindset is straight ahead, kick your butt. We're going to win no matter what. And that's what you're talking about.
you know what I'm really like. I hear all the cliche speeches before a game and in halftime, but to me, like that ain't gonna help a kid. I mean, maybe a little bit during the momentum of the game, your situation, but for me, that started 9 months ago, and I got to put pressures on you that you hate, and I'm really passionate about this. We've gotten so soft that we've allowed a lot of things to go by. And in my philosophy and in my mindset, accountability is huge. No one wants to be accountable for no more. We have coaches and trainers that pretty much curtail their value of their work on how much money they're getting.
Yeah.
So they either push it a little harder or ease it a little bit. And then they don't come out and they say this is their passion. I think that's just cliche. They're just saying that just to be saying it. And then it shows because it's always about results. It shows in the kid's performance because then that kid lacks. And it pisses me off because it's all preach, but there's truly no action behind it. So, for example, at Riverside, and I can talk about this now. I'm no longer there. I'd constantly trick the body. Uh, Kids would run with plates. Some would deem it crazy, but I had to put them through there because we're in the toughest conference in JUCO football. You got Mount Sac, Fullerton, you got Saddleback, Cerritos. That's like playing in the SEC 10 times. People don't understand the JUCO level. That is ridiculous. So when I took over as the strength coach, I knew, and as a defensive line, I need to take these kids to the next level because we're in the toughest conference. And at that time, we were good, but we weren't as good. So for me, I needed to fuse something in these kids' brain. I said, how can I maximize them? And I always thought of my experience. And then when I played, the old school coaches that pushed us through, I didn't need to degrade them. I didn't need to talk smack to them. I just needed to program them respectfully and follow the core rules. And, Coach Tom Kraft did a good job of that, of putting those rules: accountability, responsibility, right? And being truthful about what you do and then put it into action. The thing that really pissed me off was kids wanted to take the easiest path and we allowed it. And then we don't want to always coach the coachable moments, and we're always looking to give them an out so we can be in the in crowd with these kids. They're dying for us to take over. They're dying for us because they don't know. They don't know. They're young.
Yeah.
So for me, my conditioning test was 31-10s right out the gate, even if they didn't prepare for it. So they would run 10, 10, 10. And then I do reovers. I was the kind of coach I was crazy about redoing things the right way. I trusted it because I felt like you have to live the program in order for the program to work. So a lot of teams has philosophies. They have it on their walls. It means nothing. It means nothing, man. It's bullshit. And they don't live by it. They don't echo it. So you have I walked around certain schools and I see all these great acronyms and they don't even live by it. Nothing.
Yeah.
And then you're sitting there like, what's the point of all these acronyms if you don't make it measurable or actionable? So my kids run. I'll tell you this story. We played San Diego Mesa. I'll tell you this true story. I'll tell you this story. We played San Diego Mesa on the scrimmage. Obviously, we won. We used all our ones, twos, and threes. And mind you, we had a good team. After the scrimmage, both teams go on both sides, right? I wasn't happy with the performance. Again, that's mindset. I was pissed because certain guys dogged it. And I get it. San Diego Mesa was trying to rebuild their program too. But I don't give a shit who we play. You're not going to play down to anybody. So I got the team to stand on both sides of the end zone, on the sidelines. While San Diego Mesa was having their meeting, we were doing gases right in front of them at their stadium. I didn't give a shit. And you know why? Because that's a mindset to never ease off the gas. We're going straight for it. And I don't understand. This is the thing I don't understand. Why preach about it if you don't live it? Right? Why do you preach that stuff if you don't live it? The kids were pissed. They thought they had the best scrimmage ever. They were feeling themselves. They were great. They were so great. I ran their ass. And whistle after whistle, I turned over. Somebody said they looked over. I didn't care what San Diego Mesa was doing. But somebody said they were looking over. Their kids were watching us. Like, these guys are crazy. Not only did they run their gassers, they just played a full scrimmage with us, and now they're running gassers. Who does that, right?
But that's the way to instill that mentality, like you're talking about.
Way. And
they learn it.
At the time, I didn't really care what they thought. It wasn't about, look at us, we're so mighty and powerful. My thing was bullshit. Guys dropped balls. Guys lallygag. Guys were playing tag. Guys were focusing on the wrong things. And I said, that's a bullshit scrimmage. So you know what? This whole thing is bullshit.
Yeah.
And I love my head coach because he gave me that autonomy. And I was able to, in instill a lot of that in the program. And so we were very when it came down to games. I mean, so let me tell you a little bit more about Riverside. Our weight room was the size of a closet. So I had to figure out the landscape to use it so it would fit our programming. We have the worst facilities in all of the US. I promise you. We push plates on an asphalt because our weight room's so small. We're doing jump ropes, battle ropes. We're doing squats, cleans, everything on asphalt. And mind you, Riverside gets to about 110. We don't call in the temperature. We don't do that.
Hey, Coach.
Coaches
Hey,
like,
go ahead, finish up.
and we don't have many bumper plates, so we have those old school 45-pound plates. And then I do this one program that I do, and it's not a punishment. And it's called Around the World. They carry a 45-pound plate on them. Meanwhile, they run around at least 1.5 miles around the entire building. Then when they finish that, they come in and they still got to finish the workout. You have to put the kids through those stresses. And you know what people say, oh man, you can get sued, all this. Hey, if you're responsible, you're watering them down, you're checking on them, but you got to push them.
Well, Coach, when you do those kind of things, then the games are easy.
Let me tell you this. My kids have more energy at halftime than they do during the regular game. And for the simple fact that the kids are so wired to go at 100 miles per hour, it's easy. I mean, we have teams that literally quit on us by halftime.
Hey, give me some of your alumni that you've worked with, maybe well known or at least special. I've talked about a couple of them. Just not too many, just a few of the guys that are just you love to talk about.
I got Nick Figueroa as a SC right now. He's a senior. He's a starting defensive lineman, number 99. He's looking like he's going to go into pro. I got Mitchell Agude. That guy came in nowhere. Also trained at PTP for many years. He was DB, turned into a DN, ex offensive outside linebacker. Got a full ride scholarship to UCLA, and then got an NI deal to Miami. Now he's there. He's entering the draft this year. And once again, if you talk to them how they train, they'll tell you, Coach Penn, is either something wrong with him or losing it. And I'm not trying to sell myself like I'm this crazy guy. I'm just saying, if we're going to go into this game, let's go burn the whole village. And people say, I like to play. I don't like to play. I want to destroy you. That's my mindset. I'm dead serious. I want to destroy you. Respect.
I'm with you.
And I have this saying, the kids always know it. I have this saying, I want to hurt them nicely. I want to hurt them so bad. People say, I want to play. No, I don't want to play. I want to hurt you in a good way.
Nicely. Yeah. Within the rules. Hey, Coach, so where is your facility? How do folks reach you?
My facility is in Chino. You can reach me through my cell, ptpsports.net. We have programs for youth, high school, and college, and pro guys. Right now, I got Stone Smart, who's the young tight end out of what's the Old Dominion, and he's a tight end right now for the Los Angeles Chargers. Danny Shelton trained with me, first round draft pick out of Washington. Zach Banners trained with me, All-American out of USC, who went to Pittsburgh, Raiders, and so forth. Cameron Hunt, who's been with me for a long time, also playing the NFL. And now he's in other leagues and so forth. I mean, I can go on and on. We have over 134 student athletes in our existence that gone on and played. And so, about 10 guys, Damian Mama, who's been at USC, Talamaivao, a couple other guys. So we have a history of kids that go through the program. So, but anyways, it's at 14935 La Palma Drive in Chino. You can reach us at ptpsports.net.
Yeah, I would suggest folks do that. What other areas are you mainly in the West or in California? Where else do you work?
We do everything. I mean, we're coming. When we open our facility, we kind of stayed inside it a little bit. Next year, we're coming out full force. We're gonna have some tournaments that we're gonna be doing and camps. We're gonna be out in Hawaii. We're gonna be in Washington, Seattle, and Utah, Las Vegas, and California, pretty much. And then also in our local area in the IE, and then we also got areas in the OC that we're going to be doing some things with. And anybody that joins our program, we're going to do the college recruiting for free. That's part of the package. You pay into it. We're not trying to overload you on that. I think everybody gets the opportunity to go to college, so that's what we do. You know what I mean?
Yeah. So I'm just going to reiterate, go to ptpsports.net and check out the players, all of the different things about Coach Penn and his organization. And I just want to thank you for coming on. I love your energy, like I said, and all of those things, because I know that you are unique and special in this industry. And I love you. And so I'm gonna we'll let you go, but I'm gonna wrap it up. This show will be on at 9 a.m. Pacific time, Friday. You can find it on YouTube on Up on Game Presents Taylor Scouting. You can find Up on Game Network on the iHeartRadio, Apple Podcasts. Find Taylor Scouting, where I will be talking about recruiting. I'll be talking about education, training, all the different things like we did with Coach Penn. And join us. You can rate us and review us. And we hope to see you again Up on Game Networks, Taylor Scouting on iHeartRadio, Apple Podcasts, and Up on Game Presents Taylor Scouting on YouTube. Those are my promotions. And I'm ready to go to wrap it up. Thanks, Coach Penn. Love you, brother.
Love you too, brother. Take care. Thank you, guys.